Hi friends! You might have already tried out the bean germination project, where you put a bean in a bag with a wet towel and wait to see what happens. I want to read you this book about a bean today. Let's see. I need to see the words too. What would the garden be like without beans? People grow beans because they're so good to eat. But the bean pods also have another purpose. They contain seeds that will grow into new bean plants. I really like to eat beans. Those look delicious. Let's see. Pods are the fruit of the bean plants. If you run your fingers up and down a bean pod, you will feel bumps. Each bump is a seed. Split open a pod to see its seeds. If you put a bean seed in soil and give it water, something magical will happen. And we're even trying out what happens if you don't even use soil to start. Inside each seed is a tiny plant or embryo. Can you say embryo? The seed also has two large white sections called seed leaves. These are the seed leaves. They're full of food for the embryo. When the seed gets moisture, it swells slowly with water. The embryo's tiny root begins to grow. The root breaks through the outer shell, or seed coat. So the brown part is the seed coat. In your bag, watch to see if the seed coat changes when the seed swells with water. So the root breaks through the outer shell or seed coat and pushes downward into the soil. If it's in the soil, we'll have to see what happens in our bag. The seed has germinated. Let's say germinated. A pale green shoot begins to grow. It pushes up and forces the seed leaves and seed coat apart. The seed coat falls to the ground. The shoot has two new leaves. They spread open, searching for light. They like to face the sun. Oh, look, there's the seed coat that fell on the ground. The seedling, that's the name for a very small plant. The seedling keeps growing. More leaves form. The leaves make food for the whole plant. To make food, they use water from the ground, light from the sun, and carbon dioxide from the air. Plants need something different than the air than we need. It says plants need carbon dioxide, but when our human bodies are breathing, we need something different from the air. Do you remember what it is? Oxygen. Beetles and other insect pests come to eat the bean leaves. If the insects do not eat too many leaves, the plant will become strong enough to keep growing. When it is big enough, flower buds form, and soon they open into flowers. Bees and other insects visit the flowers to sip the sweet nectar. A yellow dust called pollen sticks to the insects' bodies. Be on the lookout in your garden for any bees. You can get close without disturbing them, and sometimes you can see something yellow on their bodies. That's the pollen. When the insects move to other flowers, the pollen rubs off. It fertilizes tiny eggs deep inside the flower. We can start learning about the parts of the flower soon too. The eggs begin to grow into new seeds, and a bean pod forms around them. Here are all the bean pods. The flowers wither and drop off. Their job is done. But the pod keeps growing. The seeds inside get bigger. Fruit and seeds are good to eat, so people pick the pods. But if they save some seeds and plant them next spring, the seeds will grow into new bean plants. Here's some of the pictures that we saw in the book. What order do they go in? What would be the first thing that happens if you were going to grow a bean plant? I think that the seed would be first, and then it germinates, and the seedling grows its first leaves. Flowers bloom on the seed plant, and from the flowers these pods begin to grow. The flowers wither and fall off, and now the pod grows bigger and bigger until it's ready to pick.